If you're thinking about starting a business selling polymer clay products, stay on to watch this video because that's my very first business that I started called Tiny Hands Jewelry. And in this video, I'll share with you some unique things that I've learned over the years that you should consider before you start your own shop. Hi, my name is May Pak and I help makers, artists, and designers make a living from selling their handmade products online. So let's talk about the pros of starting a polymer clay-based business. The first is what really attracted me, which is that the possibilities for what to make are endless because of the nature of polymer clay. You can make and sculpt anything you can think of, and once you bake it in an oven, it turns hard and into a usable item, whether it's a piece of jewelry, an accessory, a sculpture, a figurine, art dolls, or wall decor. A lot of polymer clay products tend to be decorative like that. 2, it is so much fun to play with clay. If you're a creative person, it is very satisfying and fulfilling to make something completely from scratch with your hands. It's the best feeling ever. 3, the materials and supplies are relatively cheap and easy to find and buy. Most craft stores and online shops sell polymer clay products, and like a 2-ounce bar of clay costs under $3. 4, you can do so many things with clay. You can mix it with other materials to get different colors, textures. You can even turn it from like a pliable Play-Doh consistency, which is its natural form, to like a more creamy frosting type of consistency. You can do mixed media art with it and use it with other mediums to make something truly unique and just really cool. You can chop it, roll it, shape it free form with your hands. It's really quite a fun craft. Number 5, polymer clay is generally pretty light to ship, so when it comes to charging for shipping, you don't have a problem here in dealing with sky-high shipping prices. Now let's talk about the cons. One of the things I found to be challenging with polymer clay is because it's such a versatile medium, you will be tempted to make anything and everything out of it. But it's important when you're starting a business to narrow down your niche and make something very specific for a type of customer. So it can be tricky to think about what that specific product is, especially when you have so many options. Another challenge is, while it's not the most time-consuming craft compared to something like crocheting or knitting, it can still be time-consuming. And because it's just clay and not something more valuable like gold or silver jewelry, the perceived value of it is never going to be super crazy high. There's a fine line you have to walk between making a product that is priced appropriately for what it is. So for example, you don't necessarily want to spend hours and hours making a clay necklace that doesn't have as high of a perceived value compared to, say, a similarly styled gold necklace, because then you can't price it appropriately and get paid for the time you spent making the product. Challenge number 3, durability can be an issue. For a long time, I made the mistake of using the brand Sculpt 3 for clay, mostly because it's so easy to use. It's soft, but not too soft. But unfortunately, it's more brittle and not as durable as a brand like Primo. There are different brands of clay and new ones are being made every now and then, so do your due diligence to research and test out which ones work best for you. Next up, I wanted to share with you some of my favorite resources to learn more about polymer clay from. These are websites that really helped me out when I was learning about different techniques. Check out The Blue Bottle Tree by Ginger Davis Allman. She shares some really amazing in-depth blog posts on how to use polymer clay. Polymer Clay Central also has a ton of community-submitted free tutorials. Some of my favorite YouTube channels are Sugar Charm Shop, Stephanie Kilgast, who used to have her own miniature food jewelry shop like Tiny Hands. Hers was called Petite Plat. Polymer Clay Tutor, and Paulina Creations. I love her miniature food work. She's so talented. There are so many other great channels to check out, and there definitely wasn't this many options when I first started out. In terms of books, I have almost every miniature food making polymer clay book out there. My favorite are NG Scar's books, which in my opinion are some of the best for making miniatures. But of course, there are also a ton of new books for making other types of polymer clay items like beads, jewelry, making faux gemstones, making fantasy creatures and sculptures, or learning caning methods. So it really just depends on what your focus is. Now, I wanted to share with you some tips specific to a business selling polymer clay products. Number one, really take your time to learn how the different materials react to each other. For example, not every glue works well with polymer clay if you're thinking about turning it into jewelry. Because there really is no limit to what you can do with clay, it can be a lot to learn, at least that's how I felt in the beginning. Number two, document everything as much as possible, specifically with color mixing. The challenge with working with clay is that the cured clay, once you've baked it, is not the same color as the raw clay. So if you mix different colors together, it can be difficult to keep track and reproduce it in the future. So my recommendation, and for my jewelry business, is I jot down every measurement of how much of each color I mix together so I don't have to figure it out from scratch every time, which can be a super time-consuming process. When it comes to starting and promoting your shop, all the same rules I harp on about all the time apply here. Have a strong brand, great photos of your product, make sure you are strategic about your pricing, set up a way for people to join your email list once they come to your site so you can continue to build a relationship with them. And to get traffic onto your site in the first place, I'm a huge proponent of doing media outreach consistently and at scale. That means reaching out to other people who have large audiences and then just ask them to feature you in exchange for a free product so they can experience your work firsthand. The trap here is that you get featured once and you think that's all you need to do. No. Like with any other form of marketing, you need to get featured multiple times in a lot of places for you to really get momentum. But the kicker here is that all it takes is one really great feature to turn your business into an overnight success. For example, if you've never made a sale yet because you're just starting out, but you got your products to appear in Good Housekeeping like the very next day, I can bet you're going to get thousands of dollars in sales from all the orders in a week, if not a day. If you have the budget for it, Facebook ads is possibly the fastest way to start getting traffic and making sales, but only if you do it right, okay? I usually hesitate to talk about Facebook ads because it does cost money to do, but also because it's a lot more technical, so you definitely need to get training on how to do it right. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment because that tells YouTube this video was good and it will help show this video to more people. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to be notified for more handmade business tips like this one. Stay on to watch this next video on the screen for more handmade business tips. Thanks for watching.